Hey Playas, how you doing? Welcome back to Playas Guide. So the past week, I was down in Syracuse, New York for the Retro Game Con, and much like last week's video where I went over the Niagara Video Game Swap, this week I'm going to give you a floor room tour and talk a little bit about Retro Game Con 2022. Last weekend, I made my way down to Syracuse, New York for Retro Game Con. This is my 5th time attending Retro Game Con, and I'm going to give you a tour of what Retro Game Con was about. Look at this guy, this loud, tall man talking, really talking a lot throughout the whole convention. Lots of art, but the thing about it this time was there was a lot of different art. So here's more of the miniatures and role-playing aspect of it that they added. There was more art this time, but less perler bead. The one time I showed up, it seemed like half the booths were perler beads. So now this guy here, that's Pete Dorr. I didn't realize that this was his booth even when I was filming this until towards the end of Saturday. I realized that was his booth, and I went through his booth 2 or 3 times, and then I finally was like, yo, Pete, it's you. And if you don't know Pete Dorr is a streamer on Twitch. He also used to do YouTube videos. So yeah, lots of games here. As you can see, no shortage games. I was quite pleased with all the games they had this time. This was the biggest Retro Game Con yet. There was more cosplay than I had ever seen at any of the other Retro Game Cons. Here you got Star Wars, Ghostbusters. There was a lot of people here dressed up. There's some perler bead art that I was talking about, but not as much of it this time. This booth had some paintings, and then this one had these really neat pins. They're $11 each though, but they looked fantastic. And I'm just gonna cut out here, let some music play, and you guys can enjoy the atmosphere. I'm gonna come back in a little bit when we go over the free play area. So this booth here, Cartridges Galore, was fantastic. They had a huge selection, and they were set up like a little store. And there's Princess Palatina right there, coming out of the booth. And yeah, I did see some neat stuff there. Prices weren't terrible, but you know, for the most part, I was able to find a few deals at this convention. Here's a guy, he made some custom video game sneakers. And yeah, there was just lots of games. It was a really good time. I only went the one day. Now, Retro Game Con is a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. I just went Saturday because I walked around the event, attended the panels I wanted to go to. One was a Qbert panel. You'll see the Qbert guys here and the Rampage creator in just a little bit. And the Sunday leading into the Monday is the Canadian Thanksgiving. So being from Canada and make my first trip down to the States since the pandemic. I just went for one day. That, and you guys know how it is with the exchange rate and the current state of inflation right now. I wasn't there to dump a ton of dough. I do have a lot of the games that I want at this point, but there are still a few things that I'm looking for. This was a neat booth. This guy had lots of movies and toys. And here you could see there's the Rampage, um, I guess his autograph booth there. It's closed at the moment. And then the Q*bert. And then there's some other voice actors and actresses, but I'm not really big into that and knowledgeable about who those people all are. Giant Millennium Falcon and some really neat like cards that used to have gum in it. And then you're gonna see some toys here and stuff too. I saw Street Fighter GI Joes. You don't see those very often, but again, they were pretty much eBay prices, even just for the loose figures. Otherwise, I probably would have picked a few of those up. And a free play arcade area here with some pinball. I think there was more pinball than there was arcades, but that's really cool that they are getting something like this started at Retro Game Con. Here's a free play area. I took some videos, some of the old computers they had set up and consoles. They had some tournaments going on as well. And this Retro Game Con had more free play games set up than I have ever seen before. Maybe in one place, but for sure at this Retro Game Con, as you can see right here, there was, that had doubled in size, the free play area for sure. They also had this Rocket League tournament going on. I've played Rocket League. I'm not big into it, so I don't really know the Elite Cup, what that is. But that was something that was going on here at Retro Game Con. Here's a few more of the arcades I got a close up of because I really like these old TVs. I really feel like, now I appreciate a lot of these older consoles being played on TVs of their time. Did you make it out to Syracuse for Retro Game Con? And if you did, how did you find it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, you can follow Playas Guide on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and join the discussion in the Discord. All of these are linked below. Until next week, I'll catch you on the flip side.